Hello guys, and welcome to a new WARNO video today by me, Vulcan. In this one I have for you a 10 versus 10 on Eiche, and I'm going to be playing with the new 2nd Guards Tank Division. This is the division that came out with the Home Defence Region London, and since I did a video recently with Home Defence Region London, I thought it was only right to do one with the 2nd Guards, because this division is also very cool indeed. And as you can see, the game is already underway. So let's have a look at what we're getting down. We've got a couple of Mi-8Ts with the rockets, the 57mm rockets that can really just demolish infantry for you. But they are carrying the Spetsnazvedka, which are really good squads in their own right. We're going to be backing that up with an Igla. We've got an Osa. We've got some guards with the Metis there and the guards with the SVD. We've got the Maz, which is a really chunky supply truck. And behind that, we have one of the T-80U OBR 89s. These are the newest and most expensive tanks in the game. 345 points, they got 21 front armor, they got 11 health. Unfortunately for me, one of the Spetsnazvedka not going to be making it to the ground. As once again at the start of the 10v10, very risky to use helicopters. This Mi-8 going to immediately head back to base to get fixed up whilst the Spetsnazvedka holds that position for us. It's kind of important that we get to this building because if we control this tree line, you can see how much it gives us information in between these two plateaus. So Su-15 coming in, another one of the interesting units that comes with this division. It's not new to the game, but here just trying to use it. And it's R60 to engage JOH. Unfortunately for me, I end up in a pincer between two Phantom 2s, and the Su-15 goes down, and my Osas manage to get the kill in return. It's not too bad for me, since his Phantoms are probably more valuable than my Su-15s, and the MiG-29 here, really nicely done, takes out the second. So we take out two Phantoms. Unfortunately, the MiG-29 goes down as well, but as long as they don't have aircraft and we don't have aircraft, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. So Osa taking out the Kiowa there. Really good kill for us. Exceptional optics, comes with Hellfire missiles. Really nasty. We're also going to have to deal with the F-111 flying overhead, dropping its bombs. It does get taken out. Wings ripped off. Bombs kind of missed the mark as the guards start to engage. These guards look really cool. They got those like pretty awesome helmets, but they're going to jump in the building there and start engaging the air cav troopers. Since it's a 2v1, should be easy peasy. Just hoping that the Osa can also take out the Black Hawk there. T-80U meanwhile has moved up to this position. Since it has the Invar with 2,800 meter range, it's like the perfect range to have that sitting there. I can kind of just keep the little valley here under control whilst my infantry try and take control of the town. So I've got this little section here at Dimitri that I'm going to be fighting over this game, and you can see the map is very big. I really like this map. It's got a lot of detail all over the place. You've got this sort of city area over on one side, and then you've got like these plateaus that you're fighting over in between, as well as more towns. Very cool indeed. Nasty bombing strike there. Actually does a lot of damage to all of those infantry. Doesn't get any kills. But CV on the way. It was funny, my teammate here kept sending CVs when I already had CV on the way. The T-64 here coming in here to take control of that sector. The Mi-8 that brought in the initial Spetsnazvedka is returning to the front to get some rockets on target, and I've got a new Spetsnazvedka to join us on the ridge, as I will need eyes able to spot all of these units. Now, unfortunately for me, there is a PVADS, and my Mi-8s just run straight into that, and the PVADS is very good at taking down helicopters, and Mi-8s are very slow at getting out of the way. So, unfortunately, the same fate applies to the second Spetsnazvedka, or third I should say, and both of those go down. I also lost both of the guards as there was a large concentration of forces in this tree line. They also managed to get line of sight onto the Maz and take that out. Really rough for me. as the M1A1HA comes out of cover, but I do have the cluster on the way, and that's a quick and easy kill for the MiG-21. Just going to have to dodge the PVADs on the way out, unfortunately catching an AA missile from the left-hand side. But good kill regardless. M1A1HA is very expensive. That will give us a bit of breathing room, and the BMP is going to take out the Bradley, so yeah, not so bad. New guards have arrived in that BMP as well, so they're going to be able to take up the position here. And as I was mentioning before, check out this guy on the backside with his RPG and the helmet there. Looking all tanked up. We shot down the Black Hawk, but they did manage to unload their infantry, I believe. Now we're going to have a bit of a duel here. The T-80U versus the M1A1HA. In this scenario, if they both hit, I should win, because I have an autoloader on my gun, whilst the M1A1HA doesn't, which means that the cohesion is going to negatively affect the Abrams, whilst it doesn't negatively affect the T-80U. It does still affect our accuracy, so there's still a chance we could miss, even though we're firing faster. But that is one of the inherent bonuses that the Soviets get over the US in this case. We're just waiting for the smoke to clear. We do already have a Maz here fixing this up while we wait, so that's kind of handy. Whilst his M1A1 is currently just sitting there turret stuck. So we're going to shift forwards and try and take that out. The T-80U, you might saw, just banged that Leopard there very easily, and we're able to just move forwards, drop smoke again after taking out the M1A1HA. Otherwise I would have eaten a TOW-2 round from the M3A1 Bradley. It's a bit rough for me here, because you can see there's this player, the Dutch player. We've got Zero, of course, who we've been fighting against. And we've also got Kamikaze Joe, who's been placing some stuff up on the ridge. So we do have our work cut out for us, but thankfully the T-80U is such a brick. It's proving very difficult for them to kill. I'm going to have to keep smoking it though, as the HGM from the M3A1 comes in once again. Igla spotting the sniper there for us is going to allow the T-64 to help kill that off. And we do have now the Vector on the way, which is really cool, the RPS-6 Vector. This is a SIGINT unit, so you'll see here it has this blue circle. If the circle is blue, it means that there are enemies within it. So I'm trying to move it into a position so we can kind of see roughly where the enemy is based on this circle. So this kind of tells me that there must be something maybe in this tree line, because we're basically not covering these tree lines with this circle. So I'm going to bring in a couple of Razvedka on that right hand side just to help clear that out. We got the T-80U still trying to hold the line, and to assist that we have now the Grad arriving, and that's blasting away on the backside here as it starts to lay rocket fire onto the infantry and the Centurion, just allow the T-80U to maintain its hold in the valley here. So the Dutch infantry leading the charge in front of an M113 CMV. We've also got the Centurion Mark V there, but none of those really going to be able to do much damage to the T-80. See, we just one bang the Centurion, but here comes a big airstrike from Zero. F-111s everywhere, coming in with cluster. Do manage to take out one of my OSAs, take out two of my OSAs, but the T-80U sits right in the middle, just enough that it doesn't get killed off. My Specialized Vedka managed to dodge the HE, so that manages to stay alive. They do take a lot of damage in the process, but yeah, the T-80U still holding the line. Absolutely godlike in this game. So since there's some supply here, the Specialized Vedka can get fixed up, which is great, but I have lost my supply that can fix up the T-80U, and these guys are really not going to have enough supply to fix that up properly, so we're probably just going to have to try and fall back as much as possible for the time being, whilst my guards try and continue their engagements on top of the plateau. So as Vedka now arriving, there's also the T-64B1 coming in from a teammate here. So hoping that we can work together to kind of clear out this tree line. The Gaz here getting killed off, so the Spetsnaz left on 1 health, and the T-80U still routing from that engagement. Across the map, you'll notice that we are losing our +2 to the enemy at the moment, so they are starting to get ahead on conquest. It's really interesting if you keep an eye on the mini-map throughout this game, that there was a real like to and fro on both sides throughout this entire thing. Like left side's nice and secure at the moment by Silva and Farks up on this hill, ND's over there as well, but on our right, Conehead and Kamandara under a lot of pressure from the enemy forces. And my Maz have arrived, so we got the supply in position. Unfortunately, these guards are going to get ripped by the PVADs. Yeah, not a fun time for them. 3 veterancy on that PVADs. I'm going to try and get this Maz into a position to just fix up the T-64, fix up the guards, and hopefully we'll be able to push back forwards with the assistance of that tank. So you'll notice now that the inside blue circle is surrounded by a white circle, which means that there's nothing inside the blue circle now. Like if you can see the white circle, then it means that there's enemies in the white circle but not in the blue circle. So I'm using this to basically identify which tree lines have units in them and then clearing them out. So we managed to clear out whatever was in here, or at least make them fall back. And yeah, now it's just a matter of moving up the Rozhetka to get eyes on whatever is ahead of us, and I can move up the vector slowly to figure out what's in our way. So we're up to coming in there with the cluster, a little bit risky, diving straight into the AA like that. Evad's getting a lot of damage on, but it does manage to survive. Now Spetsnaz against infantry, firing away with his SVD. Can he get the job done? The ATU shifting forwards here to try and get a shot on target as well, but with the M1A1HA arriving, it's going to be pretty scary. So I'm going to pull back the Spetsnaz away from that engagement and hope that maybe I can get a shot onto the M1A1 with the RPG-26. That's all they can really do. We couldn't get a supply to them in time. If I'd run across the open, they would have died ages ago. And they do spot us, so far away, and unfortunately the Spetsnaz go down. T-64 here, we're going to smoke it off because obviously there's 2 Apaches now that we're having to deal with. The 3rd Armoured that we're playing against is full of great equipment. It really is. You got Apaches, you got Recon Bradleys, you got the M1A1HAs, and Zero was doing a good job here of holding me back with those tools. The T-64 managing to get back in cover though, and as the M1A1 comes out on the left hand side, T-80U cleans it up, so that was really nice. I think it popped out to try and engage T-64, but my T-80U hadn't revealed itself yet, so we just got a nice sniping shot there. Very decent accuracy on that T-80. It's down to like 58% because of cohesion, but otherwise, you know, good enough to get the shot in. BRM-1K going to be joining that with the exceptional optics. Make sure that we can see what we're shooting. And I've got another T-80U now joining us on the ridge. However, I will need to get some more AA in position if I want to deal with the helicopters. So OSAs are on the way, and I'm going to be bringing up even more. So just fully committing to the OSAs here, because we've seen like 4 F-111s, maybe more than that actually. And we've also seen plenty of helicopters, so OSAs are perfect for dealing with both of those. Rocket artillery obviously continuing throughout this entire game as we are on the packed side. Nice bombing strikes coming in on the right there though, look at that, beautiful. Thermobaric bombs coming down, looks awesome as they land. Su-24 bombing strike from ND. Since they secured the left, you know, helping the right makes sense, just to clean up some of those units. But it is still +1 for our opponents as they slowly but surely move towards the lead. My Recon SIGINT here is basically telling us that there's still stuff in this tree line. Until that tree line's cleared, and then we can clear that tree line, we'll know if they're in here. Problem is I kept moving forwards with the guards, and that PVADS just wasn't backing off, so this time we're going to move up the T-64 with it. Of course, I've just got to be aware of the Apaches. But Leopard 4 going down on the left there, nice and easy. Scout spotted, they're going to get killed off very quick. Yeah, with the BRM assisting the T-80U, nothing is hiding. We've got the OSA in position to help try and take down the Apache. Apache is going to basically lower its altitude here. It hasn't quite landed, it's just lowered its altitude so it doesn't get shot at by all of the AA. Boom, one shot into the Centurion. And as soon as these guards are ready, we can push back in. I do have more guards on the way as well, so we can just kind of try and secure the town. So there it goes. That's one of the Apaches down. The Apache AGGM, in fact, going down there, which is a really good kill for us. And now the guards unloading, and we're going to try and secure this hill. Also opted to buy in the MiG-29 there, so that's ready to go. That should help us engage enemy aircraft if they come for us. The one thing now is just making sure that the OSAs don't get picked off over time, because if I'm left without any AA, then obviously my T-80U OBRs become very vulnerable indeed. But unlucky we didn't shoot down the Jaguar there. But also lucky that it didn't kill my OSA, so that's nice. MiG-29 going to be hanging out. And just in time, because the F-111s are on their way, but so are two Eagles. They are going to be flying right over all of my AA though, so I'm hoping that I can at least shoot one down. We managed to get one. MiG-29 fires off a couple of missiles. Can't get close to the F-111s. Big bombing strikes come through, but one of the F-111s goes down. Wild Weasel on the follow-up, also going to get taken out. So they lost 3 aircraft from my MiG, and I don't think they really killed much on the ground. The T-64 is still alive. The guards made good progress. Really great stuff as you see the fireballs flying off into the distance there. Like, as I saw that airstrike come in, a lot of my units just like moved out of the way. Now what's interesting here is you can see like how the SIGINT is still spotting stuff for us. We still know that there's either something here or there's something still in this tree line. So that's where the Razvedka will come in handy as I continue to move them up on that right hand side. I'm going to be hit by this AGGM in front of me here. Unfortunately, wasn't paying attention to that T-80U, and it's going to get absolutely smacked about. I don't think it had any smoke left, so we're just going to have to slowly watch that die. Maz had not given it more smoke. Regardless, we're pushing out the unit from this area. The guards are joining the Razvedka to clean that out. These guards are pushing across the plateau to try and get to the position where they're holding the command vehicle. If we can get rid of the command on the far side, then we take full control and we can stop the bleeding of the enemy team on our team, because at the moment we're still not ahead in this game. There's light rifles. Didn't last long, and you can see as soon as they go down, the vector once again clear on anything within the blue circle. I really do like the way that SIGINT works, and I really like these sorts of vehicles. They're really cheap, 25 points. And if you use it correctly, you can get a lot of value out of them, a lot of good information. So like now if I move to the left and I can cover this tree line, I can hit it with artillery until that stops being blue, basically. Now we're into a nice position here because we're able to start pushing or putting fire onto Kamikaze Joe, who's down the hill. Imvar firing away, able to take out one of those really nice jeeps there. So this is one of the Hellfire transports where it has like a Hellfire on the back, so really good kill with the Imvar. Hoping to land the missile onto the Humvee tow as well, but unfortunately not able to before they land on myself. Brad's still chilling on the backside. I hadn't reloaded that yet. I should have had it head back to the fob, to be honest. And more than 3. CMB did come up, but got killed off by the SVD and the SVD guards. Still gotta make sure that they don't keep the command in here. So you can see that now we pushed it out. We've got this under our full control. Things are going even on the conquest income. T-64 looking to finish off the Centurion. Doesn't quite manage to get the shot off in time. These MAS were doing a fantastic job. I really do like that they have like that 1,500 supply, chunky supply truck able to fix up the tanks pretty effectively. BRM 1K there trying its luck against the 2A4. No luck for us. Unfortunately, the command that is sitting on the backside of the sector now is an M1A1HA. That's pretty scary. But we can still run towards it with all of this infantry, force it into really low cohesion, and then just drive up on it with a tank. But we're down to 2 OSAs, or sorry, 3 OSAs on the front here. That's not too many. I have slowly been killing them throughout the game. MAS here, heading back to the FOB. And another in the grad, well, finally reloading. So another T-80U on the way. Yeah, more OSAs are inbound, as well as the Barusa. The Barusa's nice because if the OSA hits a target, the Barusa can do like 3 damage and finish it off. So that can work out quite nicely. But with the infantry arriving in this position, we're able to stop the M1A1 from coming in there, so that was really nice. Now, first of the enemy fall as Lord Flashheart leaves the game. On this right hand side, they've managed to push the enemy out of the sector. You can see the concentration of forces really starting to build up across the front. If I come down here and we look across the battlefield, look how far it goes. You can kind of see how, by all of the units I'm highlighting as well, they're flashing there. The Kiowa landed, probably to get reloaded, I would presume, but ended up eating a Metis ATGM, so a little bit of a mistake on their part. And here comes a drone. Little UAV. Trying to scout out what's up on the hill here. Unfortunately, my OSA can't really engage that very well. I need to use infrared to take it out. So the Descent Spezrodredka, the only real option. Our artillery's landing there. And the guards trying to get in position to kill that off. Commandos are trying their best to push up on the hill. And 1A1 left very low. Just bringing over the rest of the guards there to help finish off the commando. Unfortunately, more infantry coming up on the left there. Because I didn't have a T-80U in this position anymore, there was no real way for me to stop them using this reinforcing road. Endymion did bring up the BMP-3, which was nice. But I was waiting a long time for the T-80U to arrive so that we could cut that off, because we don't want them to approach from here. Like, ideally, I want to get a tank into this tree line, and we want to get a tank like into the far tree line here so that we can shoot any incoming forces. And we also want to, of course, be engaging the backside of this town. Now the recon here, the SIGINT, detecting the PVADs moving in here. We're just going to shift forwards the T-80Us. T-80U does get seen though. Basically playing the lottery with these HGMs. Unfortunately for me, because we lost line of sight of the Bradley then, my T-80 showed side armor, and the Bradley got the TOW 2 in the side armor, so the T-80U gets one shot. And that's a 345 point tank going down with a click of the fingers. It's just not, it's not ideal. So one thing that is kind of risky about the T-80Us is they still have 7 side armor, so high damage 80 gems are still very scary if you're not microing correctly. Something to watch out for if you're ever going to use this division. Like expensive tanks like T-80UDs, M1A1HAs, and now the T-80 OBR-89, they are going to be coveted kills, so people are always hunting for them, and so you really do need to take care of them. In this case, just kind of my mistake, I suppose, not preemptively backing away from the 80 gem, but it all happened so quickly I didn't really have time. Anyway, we finally take down the drone that was just spotting the ridge for this entire time. I'm surprised I didn't get hit by more artillery, because they would have seen quite a lot of my forces. Regardless, we're going to put a rocket barrage on this little patch of trees so that we can hopefully clear that out. There is an M1A1HA in there, so if we can get its cohesion low, the T-80U OBR-89 can move forwards and take that out. Guards still holding well here. There is quite a lot of guards down over time. The last man holding, surrounded by his men. He finally goes down. I love the way the guy without the armor is the last to fall. That's how much of a chat he is. Regardless, rocket artillery hitting very nicely there. Centurion gonna get blown to pieces at close range, and now my T-80 is moving forwards to try and engage whatever it can see off the ridge. So we take out the PVADs, and I'm pretty sure that the Abrams got killed, so we're good over there. Meanwhile, on the right hand side, another surrender. So it looks like the attack has ended, and Kamandara and Conehead are going to be able to start to make their counterattack. The chap must have just like run out of steam in his deck or something. Oh, nice split there actually by Jungle Jim as the bombs came in from the Su-24s. Tornadoes. Just not in time. Alright, M1A1HA, gonna try and cap the backside, but I do have the MiG-21 coming in, and that's gonna be hitting the mark very nicely there. If there was any other units in that tree line there, would have got hit as well. So yeah, the key here for me is just to keep them out of this sector. Unfortunately the PVAD's there finishing off that MiG, but killing an M1A1HA leader is certainly worth it. This game I was trading a lot, to be honest. I think it mainly came down to the fact that initially I was dealing with multiple players, but then I slowly but surely got backed up by the players from the left. So they secured their position, they started putting influence over Dimitri, and it really allowed us to secure this position. So that was really well done by the team. And also, meanwhile, they've managed to push through the town down here. I wasn't providing as much cover as I would have liked from this ridge, because this ridge has such a good line of sight over this town. But because there was constant troops coming up this road and also up here, it was very difficult to capitalize. The MP2 is now on the way, providing me with some auto cannon supports. We've also brought up a couple of 80 gems, so if stuff comes up the ridge, the 80 gems in a decent range there to hit them pretty quick. Solid artillery though, coming in from Fox. And I've got now a Chaika coming up because, well, my T-64 died, and that was the last leader that I had in the sector, so pretty rough. Anyway, T-80 gonna have to put itself in a bit of a pickle here, as the rocket artillery flies overhead, and that's a scary place to be for that T-80U. As soon as it stops, we'll back up into the range of the supply, and then once again, teammate working with me to get the CV in here, but I've already got the Chaika on the way. it's fine because we do probably want to in the sector anyway, so that this doesn't happen again. Whereas if my leader dies, we don't just like instantly lose the sector. So you can see how the minimap's like shifted now. The right side's making it a counterattack. There's a large concentration of forces here that's pushing into this sector. Like all of the T-72s are pushed up onto the breach. We got like all of them just coming up onto this hill. It's like T-80s, T-72s, all of the infantry, the KDA ships are just running up here. Very cool indeed. One of the reasons I wanted to show this game, it was a very, very awesome spectacle of a 10v10. And there's not often you get like really good 10v10s that go like a long length, especially like ones that sort of start one-sided and then like flip to the other side. So in this case, like we were behind and then our team kind of came together and managed to push back. So yeah, things going really well for us. We've got the rocket artillery coming in there just to kind of clean out the rest of the infantry. Why fight special forces when you can just hit them with artillery? Those HE bombers not really doing as much as they would like. I find the F-111s really, really lackluster. Like you can see how little damage that did. Like in reality, those F-111s would just flatten everything inside that tree line. But unfortunately, they're kind of underpowered. It's kind of like the Mirage 4 at the moment. The Mirage 4 is still kind of weak, considering its payload. I wouldn't mind if they made like the F-111s just like more expensive, but also more powerful. I think that'd be really cool. Kind of like they did with the Buratino. Like the Buratino was a great way that they like balanced the unit. They just made it really expensive, but it's still very effective. And I think that's something they could do with something like the F-111. Just give it more bombs or something and make the bombs slightly more effective. By the way, T-72's now coming in. Really lucky not to get side shot there. Trying to get out the way of the Marder 1A3 Milan, but unfortunately catch that one. These T-72s, they look pretty cool. They got 2,100 meter range, 19 pen gun. Gonna kill anything that isn't really like a super heavy. And of course, we did see the shadow of an M1A1HA on the horizon there. So that T-72 is going to want to back up, and I do very quickly, as we're going to need to get the other one fixed up regardless. Some more Iglas on the way, and we're just continuing to secure this ridge. When you're playing as Pact, you can kind of blob, I feel, a bit more than you can as NATO, because there's a lot less rocket artillery on the NATO side that is effective anyway. These 64s actually struggling to go to the max in there. Kind of amusing. But alas, the push on this right hand side did come to fruition, and they've managed to cross not one but two plateaus onto the far side and fully secure that sector, giving us a +6 across the board. Comandara's push into this city did get blunted by the looks of things. But the town in the centre is secure, our hill is secure, and yeah, we're just continuing to reinforce that. Guards moving forwards as Silver pushed forwards with his T-64s, but all of the T-64s got killed off, so the guards not long to follow. The main thing here is I just want to try and get rid of these ATGM positions. So you can see that I have brought in Maya Katsaya, and these guys are going to provide fire support onto like the Ito there, for example, and then obviously the Marder that was back on the left side. And with those gone, my T-72s can continue to move forwards, and I can shift up the infantry behind them. Rozvedka doing a good job of spotting all our targets though. I just was hoping that would stay alive so that we can continue to have eyes on the scouts, because them being that close to each other is why we can see them. I don't think this Rozvedka would spot the scout if this one dies. But fortunately for us, he kind of moves out of the tree line, so that does get taken out by the T-72. On the right, another attack coming in from Kamandara, and this attack has just continued towards Elena. So the KDA Schützen, the swarms of infantry moving in, and you can see more of the enemy surrendering as the victory is near. 3 minutes till victory for our team. Leopard 4 struggling, going to have to use the close cover here, even if it does put it in danger. Counter battery, unsuccessful. Now, going to try and get the Ekatayas to engage that Marder as I wanted to before. So the T-80U, yeah, really fun tank to use. It's a pretty strong tank. I think the M1H is still kind of nicely priced, and the amount of damage it does is very good. The T-80U, I think, is really nice if you can get good use out of its HGM. But in actual like gun-to-gun skirmishes, sometimes it kind of fails on accuracy, I guess, compared to the NATO counterparts. Really nice hit there by the Metis into the side of Centurion. Oh, here we go, more bombs coming in on the right hand side. That's some napalm. Getting some big napalm on the roads. Will do a decent amount of damage as units move into those. The tanks here cleaning up. Also going to get the BMP-2 in position. There's Vedka moving up. I've also got this this truck here. Big wave of tanks now heading towards us. Artillery hitting very hard. That was like an M110 just like smashing the Rozvedka, and the Sigint truck takes out the T-72 as well. Really hurt me, that one. But 8 seconds left to go as we move on to now +9, 5 seconds. This sector's being completely dominated. A little bit of a pushback into this sector, but it's way too late. That is victory for our team, and what an awesome game it was. So for me personally, 6,405 kills to 5,105 losses. Not like the best KD or best amount of kills, but great job by Kamandara holding the right-hand side of the map there long enough that he broke down their forces, and then they ended up surrendering. So yeah, really nice job there. Some decent KDs on our team, but yeah, real nice fight. This T-80U, Ivanov, 2 M1A1 HA kills is very nice. Igla took down 2 F111s for us. This T-64 was holding the ridge for a long time. Another T-80U there getting some good kills, and Grad managed to pick up one of the M1A1s. The Grad was like really important to have, just to kind of pepper those tree lines and bring down the cohesion and health of anything I was going to engage with the T-80U. You never want to have a fair fight, right? You never want to send a T-80U at an M1A1 head on if you can avoid it. You want to like use your HGM to hit them at range before you engage them. Then they have lower cohesion than you, and you can take advantage of that because they'll have lower reload and worse accuracy. You can hit them with artillery, of course. There's lots of ways you can get around it, and it's very important when you're using a division like this that you get value out of your heavy tanks by use of their damage rather than use of their health. You don't want to like put your tank in danger because they cost a lot to bring in, and if you create a mass of them, then you can really overwhelm the enemy eventually. In this case, the people I was playing against put up a great fight, so really fun battle to show to you lot. Anyway, that's what I got time for. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. It's really been fun to do commentaries once again, and I'm sure I'll be doing more in the future. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.